Welcome to another video, Virtues Rage. Now, a couple topics I want to talk about today. First of all, I don't take myself too seriously. Am I going to eventually upgrade my camera so everybody can see me in nice HD and get a brand new microphone? Absolutely. Why haven't I yet? Because I've been lazy. Nonetheless, here you go. The best way I know how. I use Facebook Live. Aaron Rift downloads it and uploads it onto YouTube, and that's how we're going to do it for now. If you don't like the way I look, if it's too grainy, just listen. And if you don't want to listen, that's cool with me. But don't take yourselves too seriously. As you know, King Virtue got a lot of heat. Not my intent, but for everybody that loved it, thank you. I appreciate it. Now, Triple H and Braun Strowman, that's my main topic that I would like to talk about. So I'm going to lead into that. So I'm not going to talk about that right at the beginning. What I want to talk about is your boy Finn Balor. And is he deserving of a Universal title shot? And I already see the people coming in. Grant Knight, I'm just here to talk crap about how you look past Nick Nero or whatever his name is. Look, I'm not looking past him, Grant. Matter of fact, everybody go Google Nick Nero. I think that's his name. I want to talk about Finn Balor. Does he deserve a Universal title shot? Well, when he was injured, he was stripped of the title, never got his rematch. So from that aspect, yes. Now, why is WWE not giving him one? Well, Brock Lesnar is the Universal Champion, and I don't know if Brock is politicking his way into his opponents. Obviously, he did not face Jinder Mahal. That ended up being AJ Styles. I don't know. But the fact is, Finn Balor, the demon gimmick, I'll give that some credibility. You know, he had a very, very solid feud in NXT against Samoa Joe. If he can be like that, then I can see him being a credible opponent for Brock Lesnar. And I would be fine with that match. Now, we all know that it seems like WWE might be leaning away from having Balor face Brock Lesnar, now, which doesn't make sense logically because Balor never did get his rematch in the books. So why, push that on the back burner and why wait? It makes Finn Balor look so non-credible because why wouldn't he be out there on TV demanding his shot, like CM Punk style, like I'll leave and this and that. But what they should do with Balor, he needs some building. This is my opinion. And Gallows and Anderson aren't doing much. Put them together so Finn Balor is not just a single-man Balor Club. And I know some people out there, Dirty Dave, I'll give you a shout-out. You said Balor should be a single-man Balor Club and have split personalities, different gimmicks or whatever to make the club. That would be cool, but WWE won't do that. So put them together, Gallows, Anderson, Balor, so you have somewhat of a Balor Club. Now the T-shirts make sense. You can build Finn that way, and maybe there are too many groups. Obviously they're doing that with the women right now. So I don't know. Let's see. Kyle, buy the Virtues Rage shirt, people. We'll talk about that at the end. And no, not this one. So Finn, to me, he should get his Universal title shot. They should do it on a Raw, to be honest with you. And have maybe a 15-20-minute match with Brock, but Brock goes over. So you can make Finn look credible, like he almost beat Brock. But Brock, that way at least that storyline of him getting the rematch kind of goes away for a while. And you can build, and actually now that I'm thinking about it, have that match on Raw and do something crazy. Do something crazy like have Gallows and Anderson come out and help Finn beat Brock to become the champion. Oh my gosh, the Balor Club is for him. And then Balor can be the Universal Champion in a heel stable where it's more believable because he's such a little guy. How he would use the demon gimmick, who knows? But the fact that Vince McMahon supposedly doesn't like Finn Balor, come on. Vince McMahon likes Strowman, Reigns, Lesnar. We know the guys Vince likes to push. That's never going to change until he's gone, retired. And that might not ever happen until the unfortunate happens down the road. Vince McMahon will probably live to be 120 years old, though. That's just my theory. So with that said, there are so many possibilities with Finn. But the fact that he did the too sweet with AJ, it seems like he's been in the doghouse since, because he did lose to Kane in somewhat of a squash match the next night on Raw. What else? He's not getting his Universal title shot. And meanwhile, AJ, who lost to Finn, beat Jinder to become the WWE champion. And yes, he did lose to Lesnar Survivor Series, but AJ is looking pretty strong. And again, I brought this up in the Pop Panel video. Finn went through NXT. He's just an entrance right now. That's my opinion. With Finn saying I'm over and showing all the videos with people doing this, it's during his entrance. Finn, show people doing that when you're actually wrestling in a match. AJ Styles never needed NXT. He's over. And Vince McMahon sees stuff like that. So maybe NXT does too much gimmick and entrance stuff instead of working on guys' credibility in the ring. Or they put too much of the same similar guys together against each other in NXT, and then when they get to the main roster and there's these Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar's and guys like that, then all of a sudden Vince is sitting there scratching his head like, this isn't going to work for me. Now, yes, like I said, Balor and Joe had a solid feud in NXT. Maybe that's what they have to do on the main roster to get both of these guys over. Put what worked before and do it again, instead of just burying people and having them lose to washed up guys like Kane. That was kind of illogical. But enough about Finn. Let's see. Virtue's Rage versus Tyson Sport. Book it. See, I'm giving you guys plugs. Kyle Mach, Brock versus Balor, Raw 25. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll see Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff on Raw 25. My buddy Eric Bischoff. Anyway, now I want to talk about Kevin Owens. No, not Sami Zayn. But that show that he had on the WWE Network where Vince McMahon said he did not like Kevin Owens' match against Chris Jericho at WrestleMania. Is that a work? Did they film that spot for that show? It's WWE. You got to think it's a possibility. Was that match a barn burner? Was it awesome? No. Now, I went back and looked at my grades for that show. I gave WrestleMania 33 a B+. I like the AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon match. I like the Hardys coming back and winning the tag team titles. Those are my favorite matches. The third or fourth favorite match for me on the card was Owens and Jericho. Look, Aaron Rift said for the feud that they had with their friendship breakup and Owens being the savage beast of a heel turning on Jericho, that match should have had a stipulation. It should have been no holds barred or something to give it more of a fight feel. But instead, they went the wrestling route. And, of course, like you fans all want, you want flips and kickouts and all that stuff. Shane and AJ already did that in the prior match to start the show. So, yes, the match placement of Owens and Jericho hurt it as well, being second. But I went back and watched it on the WWE Network. And you know what? It wasn't that bad. It was better than you would see on a SmackDown or a Raw. The pop-up or the powerbomb on the apron on the outside basically was the finish. And some people say that Owens whispered thank you into Jericho's ear, thanking him for that spot at WrestleMania, putting him over. Look, what's wrong with it? And people are going to believe Vince McMahon thinks it's a horrible match. Okay, if that's the case, I wonder how Chris Jericho thinks and what he thinks about that. Now, it's funny because maybe it is true. That's why Jericho's doing New Japan. Let's face it, Vince isn't mad about that. He loves the publicity. Jericho will be back in WWE at some point. And who knows, it could be as early as the Royal Rumble. Wrestle Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 12, and then all of a sudden in the Royal Rumble a few weeks later. Who knows? But I didn't think that match was that bad. And maybe because I'm biased, because I'm a Chris Jericho mark, but it is what it is, folks. Now, Triple H and Braun Strowman. So I see Grant Knight is lighting up the messages here, and he keeps putting his boy over. He did say Owens should have tried to kill him. I mean, yeah, it should have been more of a brawl, like a fight, maybe a little bit of blood, maybe a street fight. Maybe they should have both, like the CM Punk and Jericho street fight back in that feud. That should have been maybe what Owens and Jericho's match was. And then all of a sudden we wouldn't be having this discussion. But nonetheless, Triple H versus Braun Strowman. So I had a problem with Survivor Series at the end. So they did the whole, I'm going to turn on Kurt Angle. Stand by Shane, just to kick him and pedigree him. Okay, all of that was done for that end spot after the match with Triple H and Strowman. There could have been other ways to do that. But Triple H had to get the win. Of course he did. He had to make the pin. Of course he did, because it's Triple H. And I know certain people on No DQ will say Triple H needs to step out of the limelight or the spotlight. And that's true, he does. He now has an opportunity right now. And this is what I'm thinking. You want to get Braun Strowman over. Okay, everybody knows that he was a wrecking machine all year, even came back from the elbow injury and still looked strong, got booked against Brock Lesnar. But he lost. He lost to Brock Lesnar. Now, did he get blown up? Big Vito said, Braun got blown up in that match, and maybe Brock was still going to win, but it was going to take 5 F5s. We might be singing a different tune. But the bottom line is it ended in 1 F5. They're going to keep the belt on Brock probably till WrestleMania. What do you do with Strowman? They bring in Triple H. I'm so sick of this Triple H coming in and end of an era. Okay, end of an era, my ass. If he does this the right way, I will give finally Triple H props. And here's my proposal. You have Brock Lesnar, who's the biggest beast in the company, he's the Universal Champ. How do you get Braun Strowman right up at that level? Obviously, they didn't want to have him beat Brock to do it. This is your simple answer. Show fear in Triple H's eyes. They did that at the end of Survivor Series. I'll give him kudos for that. Triple H backed away from Strowman at the beginning of Raw last week. Book the match. I don't know when. You say it's even the Royal Rumble. Book the match. And when it happens, have Braun beat Triple H like Ultimate Warrior did at WrestleMania 12. Take one for the team, Trips. Have Braun destroy you. And maybe if it's not like a quick 1-minute match because you want to get, some longevity out of it, so maybe have it go 6, 7, 8 minutes, have Braun kick your butt, Brock Lesnar to John Cena style. Seriously, if you want this feud, if you want to push Braun as a top megastar, Triple H has the opportunity to do that very soon. Will it happen that way? He'll probably beat Braun. He'll probably have cronies come out, and it'll cost Braun the match. It'll probably be something stupid like that to reform the corporation, the administration, whatever it's called, the authority. And it's going to be the same old song and dance, the only thing WWE knows how to do. So, let's face it, that's a great idea. It's a great idea. Put Braun over Triple H and put him over strong. When? I don't know. Royal Rumble, maybe? Dave McGinnis, Aaron Rift is going to win the Royal Rumble 2018. Wow, would that be a better, if I don't know what music he would use, but imagine we get excited when Jericho's music hits and he comes out at the Royal Rumble. Imagine Aaron Rift. That would be, wow. And even if he did the Santino thing where he ran out and got thrown right over, it would be better than Blueberry or Ellsworth, whatever his name is. Good one. That's a good question there, David. Grant Knight. Braun was incredibly green for his first few years. Yes, but he's not green anymore. And, I'm glad you brought that up, Grant. This year, and what I think is feud of the year, it's really close. You have the New Day and the Usos, and you have Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns. To me, the top 2 feuds of the year. Roman got Braun to where he needed to be. Braun had looked very good at SummerSlam. I thought he was good up until the end of the match against Lesnar. So to me, whatever green Strowman had, it's gone. Triple H is right. I don't think Triple H would put himself in a feud or a quarrel with Strowman if he thought Strowman was green. So this to me is the big deal. But if, again, Triple H comes out of it looking like roses again, smelling like roses, then, come on, WWE, let go of the past. It's time to build new stars. But we're hoping Braun Strowman, it's his time. Now, that brings me to, everybody wants me to continue to talk about Roman Reigns, okay? I'm taking this video off talking about Roman. But I will say this. When the Shield was originally together, I liked Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns in that order. When Rollins turned on the Shield, I liked Ambrose, Rollins, Reigns in that order. What happened? Well, we saw Seth have a pretty solid heel title run with the Authority, but the whininess, the unfortunate injury, he never came back well from that. He's not very good as a babyface, and we can blame the writing. Dean, look at his title reign. It was lackluster. He choked on the Stone Cold podcast. These guys are good together as a tag team, probably the next tag team champs, but they didn't show me that they could be top stars. Roman Reigns, if you want to call him cookie cutter, John Cena 2.0, gray and black John Cena, that's fine. But the fact is, if Roman Reigns was horrible, if Roman was absolutely horrible, Vince McMahon would not have him in that spot for the last 3 years. WWE would be filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy, but that's not the case. So I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I like Roman. I've grown to like him more and more for various reasons. Everybody's calling me out for liking Roman Reigns because everyone else hates him, so I'm positioning myself to be a troll against the internet. Let me tell you something. Everybody that knows me, I used to like all the heels, the Heenan family, okay? All of them. Paul Orndorff, I mean, you name it. You know, anybody against Hulk Hogan, Earthquake, Sergeant Slaughter. I always was drawn. $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. I always liked the heels. Me growing to like Roman Reigns, even though he's pushed as the top babyface, to me, in my eyes, when everybody dislikes him the way they do, and he does have his fans, I am liking a heel from my point of view, and that excites me. Me rooting for the guy that nobody else likes. I've been that way since I can remember, 7, 8 years old, 1987, 88 as a wrestling fan. That is genuine. And you people know who I'm talking about that call me out on that. That is true. That is genuine. I like Roman because of those factors. If he was liked by the fans like Daniel Bryan, I might not be sitting there putting him over as much. But the fact is, I'm allowed as a wrestling fan to like who I want, how I like them, and you just have to deal with it. And he's Vince McMahon's guy. And look, you got me to talk about him for 5 minutes. Absolutely insane. All right, I'm moving on from wrestling. I still see the Aaron Rift Royal Rumble. Time for my movie of the week. This is where it gets blurry. There's 2 of them. I don't have the John Wick. If you have not seen this movie with Keanu Reeves, watch it. It is incredible. It's over the top, gun shooting type movie, mob style type movie, but you have to watch it. It's a great flick. John Wick 2 is also out. I think it's out on DVD. I'm not sure. If it's not, it'll be out soon. Those are Virtue must-watch films. If you haven't seen them, run to Redbox or Best Buy or Walmart right now. Video games of the week. And I might have showed these ones before. These are available on Xbox and the PlayStation systems. The Batman Telltale series. So here's the first one, Season 1. And here's the second one, Season 2, The Enemy Within. Now, they're not your Arkham-style stealth games where you get to fight. It's like a quick-time event, text game. It's basically playing out a cartoon with choices. So it's not everybody's cup of tea, but if you like story, if you're a Batman fan, those games are for you for any system. So that's it. I'm going to call it an evening. I'm going to pop my Virtue's Rage light back on. I'm going to say hey to NWO Hollywood Hogan. I know you people are going to criticize my quality of my video, which, again, I'm working on. But it doesn't matter. If all my supporters, thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you. All my detractors, thank you. I love interacting, and I do only have one profile. I won't say anything about our friend Louis B. Finkelstein, but outside of that, I control nobody else. So quit saying I'm this guy and that guy with a fake account. No. Do I have my peeps? Do they support me? Do they back me up? Absolutely. So, again, thank you. Any interaction is great interaction. If you hated me, you would scroll right past the video, never click on it, and never leave a comment. With that said, you can follow me on Twitter at NoDQ_Virtue and go to ProWrestlingTees.com. Search NoDQ. We have 15 shirts right now up there, and I'm not going to say the promo code because I don't know when Aaron's going to post this, so I don't know how long that will be good for, but check for possible promo codes as well, and look for the Virtue's Rage t-shirt. You'll see it say Virtue's Rage with the No DQ logo turned upside down because I'm doing my best to be somebody different. You know, I like Greg Cherry for who he is, Jeff Meacham for who he is, David Payne, Aaron Rift, Interstate Kyle, Jexy. They are all good at what they do. I don't want to be any of them. I want to be me, okay? And if I'm overzealous, very opinionated, think that I'm always right, trollish, that's how you want to perceive it, thank you for paying attention to me. Appreciate it.